Everything is connected to technology, to be very honest. You name the industry, let's say food industry, you name the industry, any automobile industry, anything, everything is connected to the machinery, everything is connected to networks, everything is connected to systems, IoT devices, smart devices, everything is interconnected. That is where the cybersecurity is a very booming field, but many people might not know it, or let's say many people will not be able to understand how to start, what to start, from where to start. Now, what happens is there are three pathways in cybersecurity. First is the red teaming, that is offensive security. Second is blue teaming, that is defensive security. And third is the mixture, that is purple teaming, that is offensive plus defensive security, including forensics. So forensics team also comes into the purple teaming. Forensics means what? Investigations team, where we are investigating any deleted data. I just got a blank hard disk and the client is asking me, Rishikesh, can you give me the data from this particular hard disk, restore all the data from previous thing, copy transfers after the formatting part. And that is where this particular uh, purple team has been built in forensics, as well as red team plus blue team. And this is also a threat intelligence team where you will get to understand about you will have to predict, okay, this virus was built in 2007, now it has been enhanced, now it is evolving, and now this virus is doing hell lot of things. That is where the prediction and threat intelligence team work. So that is how these pathways are there. Now what happens is many people skip the main and important part, that is basics. Now in basics, what happens is you talk about networking. Still, people don't know, okay, how to configure an IP address. People don't know how to configure a specific port number. What is subnetting? What is submasking? What is pivoting as well? Where hands-on technology should be implemented, they are only focusing on define this, define that. That doesn't work. So if I am learning networks, what I'll do is I will learn about file transfer protocol. Then at what port number is file transfer protocol? Okay, it is 20 and 21. Now, how to connect using file transfer protocol? What are the commands? What is the command in Linux? What is the command in Windows? What is the command in Mac? That also I should know. After connecting to it, how the directory part traversal is done using FTP, whether I am able to search for all the files, copy paste the files or not. That is how in detail, in depth, the cybersecurity norms, or let's say commands, should be known to you. But still people are focusing on what networking, define this, define that. That should not be the case. So it is completely a hands-on experience, but people are more focusing on the theoretical little bit part, and which does not give you the exposure of actual cybersecurity. Then, as I said, Linux, Windows, and Mac command line interface, or let's say PowerShell, all the commands, specifically practical commands, you need to know. Until unless you know it, you won't be able to get that actual exposure of hacking, to be very honest. So I would say, I would not say hacking, I would say ethical hacking, but the main thing is you should get the access of those systems, and which only terminal, or let's say some automated tools will also help you out in this. But my preference is manually testing every single server, network, website, whatever is there uh, in front of you. Then, as everybody knows that, okay, this is a database where everything is connected. You name the social media application that is connected to the database. You name any IoT device that is connected to the database. Contacts, phone numbers, uh, any documents, directories, anything that you want, everything is connected to the database. So we will definitely be studying about those databases, applications, and very important, languages. I know many people run away from Java, many people don't like C, C++ programming, but yeah, you will need to have this understanding. At least you should be able to read that particular language and understand the code. That much basic you should know about those languages. Seeing the code, you should get to know that okay, this is Java, JavaScript, Python. So that is where this basics of languages you should know. And the most important languages that is required in cybersecurity is bash scripting and Python nowadays, because bash scripting is going to deal with all the kernel level languages. Bash scripting will create services from the backend. So this is very much required. Now talking about advanced skills. So what happens is there are multiple fields, niche fields, I would say, where you need to take the access of those servers. For example, UPI server. Okay. So if the UPI server is having an isolation, then how the server is, what all um, layers we need to bypass, what all bank servers we need to bypass, what is the dark web investigation methodologies, what is exploit development in basic layman language, I would tell you, is developing viruses which will be able to tamper the data, and let's say researching about those viruses, so that I can create some of the backdoors which I can use it any whenever needed during the accessing of any internal, let's say very important files. Malware analysis is there. If any cyber attack takes place, what kind of malware they are embedding, what kind of viruses they are embedding in the system, that analysis you need to do. So these are all the advanced skills which you can focus once you are good with the basics. Then what comes is the non-technical part. Many people miss this non-technical part. That is, they think that okay, no, I am a very technical person, I can represent this, I can represent that, but that is not the condition. People are not able to communicate properly. People are not able to create that professional document which needs to be submitted in front of the directors board people, that okay, this is the impact, this is the vulnerability, this is the problem, please solve it as soon as possible. That clear decision making power is also not there, or let's say presentation skills is not there, communication with the team is not there. So this creates a lot of problems in security. And in security, we have to be very specific about our words. Even if I give you a vague answer, that should not be the case, because vague answers will not stand in front of the board members if you are a security person. So we have to be very careful about these things. And that is where I will also be giving you the exposure of what to write, how to write. We will be creating a lot of reports during the practice part, and obviously after the sessions I will be giving lot of, I would say, homeworks, in the terms of okay, you have to complete this as soon as possible, I don't know. So this will be my strategy to give you the exposure of cybersecurity. Talking about the job roles, I have already showcased you about what all job roles are there in cybersecurity, but I'll give you a little bit scenario about it. There are different teams which require different types of skill sets. Okay, for example, if I am a cybersecurity analyst, I will be reporting, I will be seeing all the IOCs, I will be seeing all the news, or let's say I will be analyzing those viruses, malwares, where I will be generating those reports, or let's say I'm working in a SOC team, that is the defensive team, Security Operations Center is the full form. At that point, I will be on the job role of cyber security analyst. As an ethical hacker, you can be a pen tester, you can be a security analyst. It completely depends on the job role itself. As a security architect, what is the networking part, what is the infrastructure, that is where the security architect job roles come into the picture. Talking about the incident response specialist is basically, if any incident takes place, the SOC team comes into the picture, where who is handling those incidences and how they are mitigating the problems. or solving the problems. That is where the incident response specialist comes into the picture. Then we have cloud security engineers who will be working on Azure, AWS, GCP clouds, or let's say some companies where they are really struggling with a lot of cloud related attacks, and that cloud engineer is trying to solve those issues or errors. Then there are security consultants, IT security managers, as well as network security engineer. Now, network security engineer will completely play with the networks, switches, LANs, subnets, submasking, firewalls. All these things are being the is the responsibility of this particular network security engineer. Then there comes cybersecurity architect. Now, cybersecurity architect is a person who is going to develop the complete uh, SOPs of those organizations. What norms should be written? What is being implemented? What needs to be applied? That is where the security architect comes into the picture. And again, the cybersecurity researcher, which will be researching about new technologies, new researches related to, let's say, EV, like vehicles are there, and that this EV vehicles, we need to make sure that okay, is it secure or not? EV is using Wi-Fi, EV is using Bluetooth. Then at this point, whether they are using certain norms which are actually um, able to secure, or is the EV remotely getting secured? For example, some Delhi-based EV rickshaws were used, and mobile applications were um, developed in such a way that BAT something was the mobile application name. I am not going to reveal the full name, but that mobile application was draining the complete battery of e-rickshaws in Delhi. So this was one of the bigger problem. So this is the field of cybersecurity researching, where you can research on multiple devices, and these devices research will be patented, and that is where this cybersecurity researcher works. Then there comes emerging fields such as DevSecOps, OT security, security developers. Now, emerging fields I would not say, because DevSecOps has been implemented in multiple locations in USA, Europe, in Asia as well. Why? Because DevSecOps is a complete um, different field after DevOps. So that there people are using Linuxes, they are implementing multiple CI/CD pipelining along with maintaining their security. That's where the DevSecOps engineers come into the picture. OT security is Industry 4.0 security. Nowadays, Industry 5.0 is also going to come into the picture, and OT security is basically manufacturing industries who are having CNC machines or any operational technology which can be hacked, or let's say electric power grid is there. So these technologies can be hacked. So how to mitigate those problems? That's where these emerging fields can be secured. So this is one of the OT security field, which is very niche field, and people are making good careers in this particular field. But there are very few people who are playing with hardware part. So we have to make sure that okay, at least we know about this technology so that we can get into these kind of fields. Then there comes security developers. So security developers are people who are actually developers, but they are creating or let's say developing such codes which are going to secure the application end to end by following those norms. So what are those norms? Norms might be OS top 10, or let's say I am trying to follow some of the MITRE ATT&CK framework related things. So it is not gonna develop using MITRE ATT&CK framework, but using MITRE ATT&CK framework I can check whether okay, these type of attack methodologies are there, so I can also mitigate using that. So that is where the security developers are needed. Then there comes one of the important part, that is how to earn. Okay, till now in my whole career I have done these number of things, and there are multiple factors that you can earn. So there are some of the like vulnerable machines that you can create and sell, or let's say bug bounty you can do. Any corporate trainings if you want to take, you can. There are international training projects as well, along with research work for the governments. And if you want, you can start with your YouTube platforms, blog writing. Multiple things are there. I know many of the researchers who are actually writing blogs and getting paid very highly. Why? Because they are researching or developing such technologies which is very niche, and people are actually willing to pay for those blogs. So that is where the earning part comes into the picture. Now, the most important part, whether you have to get a certification or not. So my suggestion will be, getting a certification is different part, but actually having the skills is very important. If you want, you should be having the target of at least 2 years or a year. You have to keep focus on OSCP, but it is not a very easy thing, because OSCP is a very expensive certification, but more than worth it. It will give you 100 times ahead your complete cybersecurity career as well as your own career, because it is a very well respected certification. And you have to make sure that you are passing that examination by a lot of struggle, and like you have to do it anyway. So that is where, after 3 years of experience, I was able to crack this OACP examination in my second attempt. So this was one of the scenario where you should be focusing on. Then there comes EJBT. That is very good practical certification, my personal favorite, because as a beginner level, EJBT should be one of your focus. You can go for the licenses like CEH, but it is basically a theoretical examination which I do not refer to many of the candidates. Similarly, Altered Security, CRTP, CRTA is also there, and PJPT, PNPT is also there for of TCM security. These are also very practical certifications. That's why I have mentioned this about this particular certifications. And completely, I will be giving you the direction about this certifications whenever it is required during the training part as well. So if you want, you can get in touch with me, but during the training part, I would be focusing completely on the practical part. You might have got my PDF file, whatever I am going to teach day wise. I have mentioned it here, and that is where this cybersecurity coursework as well as the careers you should be focusing on. So this was all related to the cybersecurity part, or let's say the demo part of this particular video. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.